So long shots are probably the most frustrating aspect of going for camos. Many of you are probably on that gold and diamond, obviously, and with the end goal being dark matter grind. And in that, in getting each weapon golds, you have to get long shots for a lot of your weapons. Obviously, depending on the weapon category, that long shot range is reduced, but specifically for assault rifles, it is the most difficult and frustrating because it is a long distance that you have to make sure you're killing your targets. So in today's video, we hope to alleviate some of that stress and make this a whole lot easier for you so that you are able to actually get into a game and focus on those long shots, knowing exactly where you're going to be standing depending on the map, so that you're not just randomly just playing the game and hoping that you get long shots as you go on. If you're actually taking that camo grind serious, you have to be designating each game to long shots and actually going for them. I would not recommend just simply playing the game and as you get long shots, you'll unlock gold camo. It just takes too long. So in that grind, we hope to be able to help that and making it a lot easier. In today's video, we're going to be showing you where to stand in several spots on each map to get long shots. Also, it is very important to note that hardcore is definitely the highly recommended game mode to play when going for long shots, because of course, long shots are from a distance. And if you're playing in core, there's a good chance that when shooting these enemies, because it takes more damage, there's a good chance they'll get behind cover. They might run away. They might get on a head glitch and fire back. There's going to be a little bit more of a back and forth rather than in hardcore. When you set yourself up in these spots that we're going to show you, you'll be able to just ding them with one shot and be done with it. Get that long shot very, very easy. It's just a lot easier and a lot more effective and efficient to play hardcore when going for these long shots. If you're specifically targeting the long shots and you want to get them done quickly, definitely hardcore, guys. So this guide will definitely be directing you towards spots that will be more beneficial in getting long shots in hardcore situations. Just keep that in mind. Drop a like on today's video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the first map that we're going to be taking a look at is Arsenal. Now, Arsenal has several spots, but one of the main spots and the only spot that we're going to show you in today's video is probably the easiest. Now, let me note that in every single one of these spots that we show you, the goal is to just go to this spot and stay there the entire game until you get, as many long shots as possible. And you could easily finish off the 10 long shots that you need, especially for assault rifles, in a single match if you just continue to go back to that same spot, wait for enemies to come into your lines of sight, and you'll get that medal very easily. Arsenal is a fantastic map to do that. You can just stay on this side, this right side of the map, sit on this head glitch, and you'll definitely be picking off enemies. I would also recommend using domination as a game mode of choice, because you'll know where spawns are, you'll be able to control spawns, you'll know if the enemies are coming that way, and there'll be less of a chance of enemies coming behind you or spawning behind you if you were to play, like, let's say TDM. Next up, we have Contraband. Contraband is a great map as well. Now, although some of these lines of sights that we're going to be showing you on this map are kind of random, you'll definitely be able to pick off some enemies throughout the entirety of a Dom game as the game goes on. Like I said, some of these kind of are random, but the most prominent spot is in the middle in these two different windows. You can sit on these windows, and I can almost guarantee that several times throughout the match, an enemy will come up on this, and you'll be able to pick them off for an easy long shot. Firing range is probably one of my favorite maps for long shots, just because there's a lot of easy spots that aren't really open. You're able to, like, take cover, and there's a good chance that enemies won't find you, and you'll be able to really pick off some easy long shots. One of these is back in the bunker area, like in that little canopy area. You'll be able to sit on this table, and you'll be able to see right into the spawns, especially for domination. They literally will spawn back in that area. There's also a more open area that looks into the same spot that also will give you some long shots. And then once again, looking into the same exact spot, there's a spot in the trailer where you can peek through that door that looks back into that spawn. You'll be able to pick off some enemies. And then on top of that, you'll also be able to look down into the spawns in that long range right here and get some long shots as well. Next up, we have Frequency. Frequency is probably my favorite map out of all the maps in Black Ops 4 to get long shots, just because it's really easy. Like, I feel that the spots that we're going to show you, at least this one specific spot, is very high traffic, and especially if you're playing domination, it's right where B flag is. So enemies are constantly around this area, and you're able to pick off a lot of long shots. The other two spots are not so great just because it's a lot less traffic, but you're still able to pull off long shots in these specific areas. Gridlock is a good map as well. If you sit up on the windows and on the balcony in mid-map, once again playing domination where B flag is, there'll be a lot of traffic where you'll be able to pick off some enemies. Also, on the left side of the map, there's a good chance that people will come down that side, you'll be able to pick people off. There's just not as much cover, to be honest. There's a couple head glitches you can sit on back on this side, though. Looking in both directions, you'll be able to pick off enemies getting long shots, so definitely try Gridlock. Hacienda is definitely not one of my favorite. I wouldn't recommend Hacienda for getting long shots. You know, it's just not my favorite. It's not my go-to. But there's a window spot on the left-hand side, as well as in the backhand side towards the fountain. You're able to look up into the garage and pick off enemies for long shots. There's a head glitch behind this like limousine, so that works for sure, but just not one of my favorites. Icebreaker is a fantastic map for getting long shots, just because it's one of the bigger maps in the game, and there's really like big and long ranges of just open space. Obviously back sitting on the ice is a good spot, and there's a couple other spots like on B-Dom and over by like the tanks, the gas tanks. There's a couple spots you can stand to get long shots as well. Jungle's a good spot specifically for this one range of sight. If you step up onto that big like rock where people camp on and like they like to sit up there and set the barbed wire behind them, that's a great spot, because if you look down this range of sight, you can see enemies coming from that back spawn, and it's just a really good spot. Enemies won't expect you up there, and you're able to pick off easy long shots from up there as well. Militia is also a good map for doing long shots, because it's very open and there's a lot of just open space where enemies are going to be running through just blank territory. They're not going to have much cover, and there's several spots throughout the map that you'll be able to pick off enemies. There's one under the bridge if you look towards the church. There's also one towards the back of spawns where there's just like this massive like kind of open area of just nothing, and you're able to pull off some long shots back there. Morocco is a map that I would not recommend whatsoever getting long shots. There's only one spot that we're going to show you. I'm sure there's a couple other spots technically where you can get long shots, but it's just not a good map. If you get Morocco, just run and gun. Don't worry about long shots unless you want to sit in the back of spawn and look up the stairs in this one specific area, but once again, wouldn't recommend it. Payloads, again, one of those maps where it's just not that great, because most of the spots that are good for long shots aren't in high traffic areas. You're gonna have to sit there and wait, and most likely there'll be a rare chance that an enemy will be walking by and you'll be able to pull off that long shot. But other than that, just not a map that I would really recommend, to be honest. Seaside is a good map. I pulled off several of my long shots for assault rifles here on Seaside. If you sit up on the windows in the middle of the map in like the B area, you'll be able to get a couple of long shots on both sides. So in both windows, the windows look at each other. So basically you're looking at, if you're on one window, you're looking at the other, and if you're in the other window, you're looking at the other. So just sit in that window, you'll be able to pull off some long shots there. Most likely there will be enemies coming through those areas, and it's also good cover, especially the bar side. If you're in the bar, sit behind the pool deck and you'll just be able to pick off enemies that pop up in that church tower. Then we have slums. Slums is good. Basically the way slums works is sitting on the A or C side, looking into spawns, you'll be able to pull off some long shots. I personally like this one spot where you basically sit on a head glitch and you're looking back towards the like fountain area. People literally spawn back there, and it's great for getting long shots. And then finally Summit, probably my least favorite other than Morocco, just because it's really irritating. Like the spots that you can get long shots are just frustrating, and just not a huge fan. But there's a couple spots, one being in the back of spawns, then one being on the left side, where you're kind of looking back into where they're coming out from spawns, and they come around like this barrier side, and once they pop out, you'll be able to pick them off and get an easy long shot. But other than that, guys, I would highly recommend Frequency. Slums is good, Gridlock's not bad, Icebreaker's good. Those are the maps that I would highly recommend. Also, Firing Range is one of my favorites. When you get those maps, know that you'll be able to probably finish off your challenge in one single game. Anyhow, hopefully this video helps you out in your grind for unlocking Dark Matter. Of course, in that gold camo grind, those long shots, man, probably the most frustrating other than just getting headshots, which by the way, we will be having a guide on how to get headshots a whole lot easier, so look forward to that video. Without further ado, once again, drop a like on today's video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications, and we'll talk to you all in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, comment down below, #Carnage, and we'll be responding to some of you guys and probably featuring some of you guys as well in the next video.